Hello and happy Wednesday. Go wake up your camel 'cause it is hump day. How we doing? Welcome to another evening of fly time. Let's do this. Let's make sure we got the system up and running. I'm having some issues with my camera, so please don't mind the delay on this end. Things kind of come out in the wash when I get the camera pointed over to the vise. So welcome. Do this each and every week, Wednesdays from 6 o'clock to about 8 o'clock ish. Sometimes the back goes out or something happens or whatever. But we do this live stream in support of the St. Cloud program of Project Healing Waters. How about that? Connecting veterans with the wonderful world of fly fishing, healing those who have served. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Let's take a few minutes and check in. Um, yeah, we're doing good here today. It was a busy day today. Ran a whole bunch of errands, took care of some stuff, cleaned out the garage. Um, yeah. Hey, Dave. Thanks for tuning in. Smart Mouth. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, we are officially fully vaccinated, and I was given it the 2 week waiting period afterwards for everything to kick in and settle down. And that'll be this Saturday. So free to roam about the cabin safely. Super excited. Super excited. Ready to get fishing, get a line wet. We got fishing opener here. Gosh, that's coming up sooner than later. Mother's Day weekend, isn't it? If I remember correctly. But anywho, through the grapevine, Secret Squirrel Missions, Secret Spy Scout. Had no idea it was even gonna had eyes on the ground, but had a buddy send me a text message. Unofficially, without official confirmation, my kayak has made it to the outfitters. Uh, it just got delivered, or they picked it up, or however. It's in a trailer, but there's going to be I don't know, I'm sure some time for them to do paperwork, inventory, unwrap it, get it ready for me. So, anywho, yeah. So, to all my Project Healing Water peoples, James, I see you're here. Good evening, Josh. James, I will be contacting you the next few days to coordinate a little delivery for you. I got your reels. The reels finally. I got reels for all the fly rods that you guys built over a year ago. So get those into your hands ASAP, and yeah, I'll drive up there, drop it off like I did the fly tying kit, and link up with all the other participants in the program to get them their equipment to get them fishing this summer. Because just because we can't fish together doesn't mean we can't try to fumble by ourselves safely in a uh, uh, don't rush out into chest high deep water. Because I don't know. It's good to have somebody right there next to you teaching you how to do something when it's new. But if you've done it once or twice and you've kind of got a feel for it, sometimes the best way to struggle through it is to just get through it. So, Smartmouth had a busy day, broken water line. Ouch. Luckily, just the garden. Wow. Yeah, having nothing makes you feel vulnerable than when your water's shut off for whatever reason. It's just like when I first moved into our house, it was a lot of, new home ownership stuff, changing out the dishwasher and eventually sinks and this and that. But boy, it's makes you nervous when you have to shut the water off for any kind of work or anything. So, anywho, we're going to be tying a craft hair streamer, a craft hair, craft fur. I'm not sure what you want to call it exactly. This wonderful patch just doesn't have any kind of label on it. I've got it labeled as soft faux hair. Faux as in F-A-U-X. Faux. And I've got it in this kind of grizzly striped. We've got it in red. Same patch. Got it in a tan, kind of a Chewbacca color, Chewbacca tan. And I got these other little bits of synthetic hair to play with. This is actually some sort, whatever it is, it's not real. It's definitely a synthetic because you can look and see the weave behind it. But on the outside, boy, it sure looks like I don't know, but I think this was a collar. Yeah, I think this was maybe a collar on a shirt, or maybe could use it for Halloween. I don't know. The reality is if you keep your eyes open, you find all sorts of stuff. So this is 100% acrylic face, polyester backing, dry clean only. So this is an acrylic fur. But we're not going to mess with this. This is just stuff you find it and you pick it up and you think to yourself, man, I'm going to have to wow. Yeah, no kidding. So keep your eyes open for stuff, and you never know when you're going to use it. I don't think I've actually used any of this yet, but it's in the tub, it's in the bin. Where did the stuff I'm using tonight? Okay, so I'm going to be tying with the black stuff for now. And the thing about craft fur, which is kind of interesting, and it's kind of hard to show spun around because I've got the camera dialed in so much, but it's kind of similar to just a regular patch of hair. Just treat it like it's any old hair. I see you, James. Copy that. I'll give you the old ring ding ding. Ah, man, I wish I could use that. Anyways, and because it's so fluffy, I think you'd use this for a boy, everybody's moving. All right. Well, hopefully their phone numbers are the same. Anyways, you want to cut your hair as close to the quote unquote hide. I'm gonna just trim off some of this extra little bumps. And what I do is I'll put this in my lap or set this on my leg. I've got it this way. And what I'll do is I'll kind of pull some of it back, and then that way I end up just grabbing just a little tuft, and I can trim that down nice and close. And it's one of those operations that it really works best on your lap. Maybe I'll be able to spin the camera around without giving you a... Let me do that real quick. Let me see if I can't, because I think this is a important thing to see. I'll see if I can spin my camera around maybe once before we get going over here. We'll see. Nope. Go for... Why is my camera not working? Oh. I can see my leg. Alright. Yeah, I just don't want to give you guys an appropriate shot of the groin. But this is my feet. Yes, I do sit here and I tie with my socks on. So don't mind those. Let's get this in view. I gotta spin all the way around. Alright. So with everything's backwards. So what I'll do is I kind of eyeball a little bit of it, and I push it against the grain, and then I'll go with the grain, and then I end up with a little patch. This isn't working for a view, but anyways. Alright, we'll flip the camera back around, and then we'll just send it. That usually works best, right? When you just send it. I think that works best for me in most cases, most times. Alright. Sorry about looking at the back of my head there, folks. I got to get the... Because if I had it on this camera's view already, you guys would be throwing up. Alright. We'll transition back to this one. Cool. Thought it was going to be a cat hair streamer. Did I say cat? I could have typoed it. Let me... What's the name of what's in the title? Craft. Okay. Man, you got me thinking there. Did I typo that and type a cat hair streamer? We could do that. I'd have to go find my cat. Brush up some hair. Be a little ginger. Alright, so streamers. Might as well use a streamer hook. This is a barbless streamer hook. It's a 1x strong, 3x long. Super long shank on this. Not quite as long as a 4x, but definitely longer than a 3x or a 2x. And, imagination is your only limitation, and that's the beautiful thing about craft fur is we get to do almost whatever we want with it, right? So we got our size 2 hook. It's a, what did I say? It's a 3x long barbless hook. This is a Moonlit ML057. If you did it with a shorter hook, it would just be a shorter fly. Just keep things proportionate to itself. I think that's a kind of only really rule of thumb I like to. Oh, that and sparse is nice. I got a lot of little ones that I like to keep moving along. Anyways, Danville's 210 flat waxed. Start up front. And with craft fur, it sometimes it depends on exactly what it's made out of. Sometimes it might get a little buoyant and float if you got too much in it. Sometimes it'll just really shed the water. It's what is it? Hydrophobic, I believe is the term. Hydrophobic. So anyways, I've got some weight to help this bad boy get down into the water, deep into the water. I want to give you guys an actual size on this. It's a medium, so I believe it's a 1/30th ounce red dumbbell eye. And eye placement or weight placement is also, it's kind of one of those things. It's if you tie it right up front, it's going to swim differently versus if you put your weight, back here or even halfway. I really haven't seen too many flies with eyes at the midway point. Maybe if it was a shrimp pattern or something like that, crawdad pattern. You see those ones that are back there. But I'm going to tie it maybe at that 1/3, 2/3 point. Kind of like where I would tie in for a clouser. Give myself just a little bit of a thread base. And I'm going to take a few wraps of this away. Turn. Give it a few wraps of that away. Nice and tight. Then we'll alternate. Figure 8. And then I'll go underneath. Draw that nice and tight. And I'm going to give it a little splash of glue. A little dab of head cement. And we're going to use my favorite insurance policy, the secret sauce, aka Sally Hansen's. Some good stuff here. A little dab will do you. And I'm just going to put it right, a little dab right there and a little dab right there. Now it'll soak right into the thread. And just to ensure that, we'll give it a few more wraps this way, and a few more wraps this way. We'll get behind it, and get in front of it. And you know where that's going? Nowhere, that's where. Hey Ben, thanks for tuning in. Wow, we almost got a full house tonight. Alright, so we want to go ahead and find our tail. And we'll run our thread all the way back to the rear, tie in our tail, because that's a good spot for tails, I think. Back of the hook, right at the bend. That looks pretty good. I think that looks a little bit better. Had to flip my light over. Okay, so for our tail, I have a little black wabbit strip. And here's one of the things. It's one of those things that I've done, or I do. I've always done it this way because I was shown to do it this way. And without question, I will always do it. But I really don't. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. But we're going to give the back of our rabbit hair just a little bit of a taper on the hide. Okay, this is what we're doing. We're cutting the hide, not the hair. We'll definitely cut some hair off, but just a little wisp off to one side. In theory, that helps get the tail come to a tip or something like that. So let's go ahead and just measure this out the rest of the way. I'm going to go look right at the hide. I'm going to go 1 hook's length, and we're going to have a little bit of scrap. That's okay. We'll get rid of that. Alright, so since I tied my dumbbell eyes in on top, in theory, we should be riding hook side up. So in theory, I'm going to clear off just a little bit of the fuzz right at the tip. I'm going to tie this, what would, I don't know, you would kind of call it maybe upside down. Because when this is riding right side, hook side up, this will be up. And we're going to lock this in. Some tight locking wraps. You might have to start it on the near side of the hook, and then as you add tension, it'll roll just a little bit. And there we go. And this is the zonker strip, not a cross cut, just a straight up zonker. All right, now we're going to make our dubbing loop. So I'm going to draw some thread out, hook it with my shepherd's hook, and take a few wraps, and then I'll capture the thread, the loop with a few wraps. Bada boom, bada bing. That is it. Alright, I'm going to take my thread, and I'm going to end up doing, I think maybe 2 different dubbing loops. Not 100% certain how I'm going to do this. Alright, wax our thread. Wax that up nice and good. And we're using a 210 denier thread, so this is some pretty beefcake thread. We'll set that off to the side for now. Okay, so you know, it's synthetic, it's fake hair, but here's the kicker. It still has underfur. Why synthetic fur has synthetic underfur, I do not know. I'm looking for my longer scissors, which are behind me. There we go. Okay, so I've got this hide on my lap, and I've got just a little tuft of it pulled off. I'm not going to necessarily go for all of that, but I'm going to definitely take a big chunk of that. And I'm trying to cut it down nice and close to the this fake faux hide, I guess. And just like we do with regular hair, we're going to clear that out. Look at all that. That's just a whole bunch of underfur, and you end up with actually kind of a smaller little tuft than what you'd really want. But it's going to go on like a dubbing, and because it's going on like a dubbing, it falls under the sparse is narce category. So I'm going to take one little puff like that. I'm going to grab a little bit more because you end up losing a lot of that bulk when you get to those underfurs. And each patch, each brand is going to be slightly different. And there's all sorts. The world of synthetic hairs is just limitless. It just keeps going. You know, it's like if you're doing Kanekalon or Connectalon or anything like that, you know, you get into the fake, you know, the wig hair, the weave. Just clear that out. And what I've found that works best is the brush. So after I clear all that out, I'll join that with this other piece. So now I've got a small tuft of these longer fibers. And I'm just going to spread this out just a little bit because we're going to add just a little bit of magic. Inside my little dub, let's see if I can. So I've got it laid out on my fingertips. I'm going to set it on my bench, oh so carefully, because I have got some other dubbing I wanted to blend into the mix, just for a little bit of color. This is some Fly Tyers Dungeon. It calls it Arctic Wind. It's a bloodsucker. Kind of got some purplish and bloodish color to it. But no matter the dub, what I want to do with this is I want to take the fibers, peel them off, and stack them. And this is it feels like quite a bit, but once we got these kind of stacked out, we'll lay these on our fingertips and we'll set that right on top of our synthetic hair, or craft fur, craft hair. Alright, we'll open up that dubbing loop. We're going to set that inside. And we're going to space this out nice and even. And if you go too thick, it'll really ball up and bunch up and you'll find yourself really struggling. But with any luck, alright, here we go. We're going to spin this in 3D. I really like using my whip finish tool as a pivot point because it really takes that thread, pulls it together. Alright. Looking good, looking good. Alright, we'll take Mr. Brush and we're going to brush these fibers back out. Now this is very similar to our wire brush kind of dubbing loop setup we got going on the other day, a couple weeks ago. Those big pike flies. Sometimes you got to get in there with the comb. Don't forget you got fingers too. Don't always have to just use the tool. Alright, so we're going to take our material, we're going to swoop it to one side, and we're going to palmer this forward with touching wraps. And I got a feeling, yeah, we're going to probably end up doing this in 2, possibly 3 loops. Just because it's such a long shanked hook. I might be able to do it in just 2. Definitely going to be 2 loops for sure, because I want to definitely get some of this material all the way up front too. We'll kind of crisscross around the dumbbell eyes. Yeah, this will be a 2 looper. The one I experimented with earlier today, I ended up doing 3 loops, but will be 2. I'll take us just behind the eyes. Secure. Whoa, 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 wow. Everybody okay? I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Okay, we'll trim our little loop. And we'll prepare another one. Doesn't have to be quite as big or as long, but it's going to be the same process. This time we can park our thread right behind the eye of the hook. Don't forget our wax. That's just a low tack, just a general hairline dubbing low tack wax. I keep the wax tacky and low tack because I've got all the tacky I need. I'm tacky enough. I don't know. Alright. Trimmed off a chunk of the craft fur, and just like the regular fur, I'm going to hold it by the tips and really clean out that junk. Sometimes you can set it on your lap and clear it out if you're wearing like a blue jeans, gives your stuff a little backing. And you know, if you're being frugal, there's plenty of a synthetic dubbing mix you could make. Alright, so I'm going to spread this out, kind of fan that out, and that's what I'm going to set on the bench real quick while I get my bloodsucker dubbing ready. It's just a small little wisp of it, but what you got to do is you got to do your best to try to straighten the fibers out, align them, hand stack them, and then you can spread things out. We'll set that on top of the other one. And now we've got both on top of each other. Not a good time to sneeze. You'll blow it all over the place. We'll slip that right into our loop. And pinch that off. Space that out nice and even. Bada boom, bada bing. There we go. We'll give that a little spin. Alright. I usually I check for springiness when I'm doing my dubbing loops. If it's got a little bit of a spring back to it, then I know I've got a good amount of tension from twisting. Alright, before we go too far, let's go ahead and brush this all out. And I didn't bother picking that out yet because might as well just wait and do it all once. Excellent. Alright. Got that all fluffed out. Go ahead and pull that one side, preferably the rear, and we'll start wrapping you forward again. We'll get right behind those dumbbell eyes. I'm going to crisscross. I'm going to go once over this way. Try not to trap too much. Once under that way. Get back up front. And we'll send her home. All right. Let's go ahead and finish that off with a nice whip finish. Alright, doesn't look like much yet. But hear me now, believe me later. Let's pick this bad boy out. You start getting the brush on it, and it'll all start coming together. It usually works if you brush against, kind of against the grain. Be careful, you got a brand new sharp hook there. And we can just start swooping it all back. And right around the eyes, I'm just going to give these just a little bit of a trim around the eyes. Alright, that is a basic little blend, huh? Kind of shape it around the head if need be, but it's usually pretty good. And we're going to add just a little dab of secret sauce right at the front end. Maybe on our next one we'll take maybe a little bit more of a dubbing forward. Like I said, with the first one, I don't know, looks pretty good. We'll just add a little dab of head cement on there and call that G to the double OD. That's good. Ooh, that's nice. And it should, in theory, we should be riding in the water column a little bit like so. Questions, comments? Oh boy, I think that's going to swim really well. Just based on the balance point of the eyes. I have them back a little bit farther, so we should be bouncing around like a clouser. In theory, possibly, maybe, but we'll give it a try. And that's just a black synthetic fur with a little bit of dubbing mixed into it, just to give it a little bit of spice. What do y'all think? Somewhat reminds me of Cousin It. Yeah, no kidding. Yep, that's pretty cool. I don't remember. I think Cousin It just kind of squeaked, and I don't know. All right, let's try another one. But I say we try let's try one of these other colors. Oh, you know what we could do? I'm gonna do this tiger striped one. This should be interesting how it looks. But I already got one in the brown or one in the black with the red dumbbell eyes. I think we'll do this gray. And we'll see what happens. I think I'll use the same red eyes, and I need to find a appropriate tail. Ouch. Ouch. I just stabbed myself on this one. This was in with my, remember that one? Little blood belly? Little blood belly leech? Boy, I'm going to add that one to the mix. When you tie flies, but they just kind of disappear and hide from you. I think, not sure what this is, but kind of a grayish, I don't know. Maybe we won't do this white and striped one. We'll go with the brown, the Chewbacca brown. No pink. I've got a red. I'm thinking maybe maybe we could do a 50-50 on our next one. A little 50-50. Let's get a zonker strip. We'll throw on the back there. Orange tail. No. Chartreuse. I say we throw a chartreuse tail brown and a chartreuse for our tail. Alright, we'll give that a try. The only way to try is to try. The only way we'll ever know is if we try. And I think if we no longer are experimenting on our bench, trying to come up with new things, I think is Dave Coleman in the house tonight? Because if Dave has done so well with his fly of the day, right? Proven pattern through and through. Stand by it, swear by it. It works, hands down. Now, if he just stopped there and never continued to evolve forward, we wouldn't have the faux fly of the day. And we wouldn't have the multicolored fly of the days. It would just be the original standard first color, and that would be that. So I think it's continuing to progress and move forward is the way to do it. All right, hooks, we're using Moonlets ML057's streamer hook. I'm doing a size 2. It's a 3X long shanked hook, 1X strong, so bing, pretty beefy, pretty barbless. And with the synthetic hair, like I said earlier, you could use dumbbell eyes, you could throw a bead head up front, you could do it like a sucker or a cone head. Imagination is your only limitation. Let's go ahead and start our thread, our 210 denier thread. And I'm tying them on the same position I would tie them on if I was tying on a Clouser minnow. Give myself a little bit of a bulk to start my dumbbell eyes. Medium, I believe they're size 4. 1/30 ounce, so they're pretty beefy dumbbell eyes. We got some weight behind here. And the reason why I do just a small little patch of thread, if you want to, you can make the saddle, it's up to you. But at least at a minimum, give yourself a little bit of a thread base. We'll just take a couple of wraps this way. We'll rotate. We'll take a couple of wraps this way. And don't worry about it if it's straight on your first few wraps, because watch. Oh my gosh. It's all evening up. Alright. Little dab of Sally Hansen's in there. We'll work our thread into it, and this will give us that insurance policy that this is going nowhere. That's where. Just a little dab. Doesn't take much. You could use Zap-A-Gap or whatever, but I think a little bit of Sally Hansen's in there with a good amount of thread tension. You got your insurance policy. You got some good quality thread wraps. You can tell all your friends about it because you got those dumbbell eyes tied in there A-OK. Nice and square. A little bit of lacquer in the inside of it. Outstanding. Hey Wade, what is going on? How are things in the driftless? Alright. Advance our thread to the rear. We're going to pop with our tail. With our, if it ain't no use. It ain't no use if it ain't chartreuse. Alright, let's go ahead and do a little taper. Because apparently, we've been told that we don't want to leave that at a square, blunt end. And we're just trying to cut the hide, not the hair. And whatever hair that does come off goes with the hide that was trimmed off. So we're not necessarily cutting into there. But what does that actually do? What does that actually do? The science, I don't know. I don't know what the science says, but let's go 1 hook's length. Alright, again we're going to cut the hide, not the hair. Cut the hide, not the hair. Because if you just go in and chomp at it, you lose your next batch. So when you're cutting strips, say it with me now, cut the hide, not the hair. Until you get to here, then you want to cut the hair. This is where we're going to be tying in. It just gets us just that little bit closer. Alright, we're going to tie this in upside down, or downside up, however you want to say it, depending on where you're sitting. Couple tight locking wraps. Boy, you know, I'm almost halfway tempted to go to not use the brown and just go with the red or the black again. What do you think? Yeah, let's go ahead and do the brown anyways. So we got to make our loop. Loop day, loop day, loop day, loop. Alright, we'll start off with a good size loop. How long is my loop? Well, my loop is just long enough so my tool just doesn't hit the bench. We are right there. Gravity is our friend, right? Alright, let's add our wax just so we don't forget. I have a tendency to do my dubbing loops and then go through all sorts of stuff and I go, I forgot to add my wax. It's a wax thread, but we want to add a little dab of extra tacky sticky wax. All right, set that off to the back side. Now we got to prepare our little hairball here. I'm going to do this brown just so we can say we did one with brown, and I might have to go back to the black. I don't know. I don't know. What can I say? So I'm going to trim a chunk of that off, nice and close to the hide, the synthetic faux hide. That's crazy. Alright, just like regular hair, we still got to clean all that junk out. That's just amazing how much actually comes off. Grab it with the brush, hit it with the comb, whatever it takes. Really want to get as much of that out of there as possible, because we just want the hair. We don't want the... And the ends aren't even, you know. I'm just kind of letting them, I don't know, lengthwise, where are we at? We're at about 2 inches. About 2 inches in length. Alright, so after we get that cleaned, we're going to fan it out. I like to just kind of roll it on my fingertips. Just like that. Okay, I'll set that on the bench for the moment. So I'm going to get my dubbing. I'm going to stick with this, I think it's the same type. Yeah, we'll stay with this Arctic Wind kind of bloodsucker red. And now that I went with the chartreuse tail, I'm kind of thinking I should have went with the chartreuse dumbbell eyes. What was I thinking? I don't know. But I want to take this dubbing and give it a little kind of a hand stack. Just trying to pull these fibers lengthwise. And we'll do the same thing. Kind of stretch those out on our fingertips. And I'll join that with the other batch. So now we have both together. We've got the Chewbacca brown, Wookiee brown, and the bloodsucker red. Okay, we'll get it in the dubbing loop. And we'll capture that in our whip finish hole. And with the wax on your dubbing loop, everything's super sticky, and things aren't going to want to slide and slip around as much as you might want it. So that's why we do our best to space this out on our fingertips, and we'll get a full fingertips length before we even apply it into the dubbing loop. Give that a spin. Here we go. And brush it out. It takes a second. It's not all going to happen at once. But really have a good hold on your dubbing loop. Got a little bit bunched up there. I can feel it. All right. I'll wrap it until we make contact. And then we'll just continue with our touching wraps. just keep those hairs pulled, keep everything pulled to the rear. Alright, we're going to stop there. Secure that. And then we'll make another dubbing loop to finish it. Because it's a 3x long shank hook. If it was just a standard length hook, I don't know, might be able to get away with one dubbing loop, but because the way this is rolling, we're going to do 2. Hey Steve, we got Steve in the house. Thanks for tuning in. Whoa, that's a deep theory. So how would I go about kneading it without the dumbbell? 3 short straights underneath. Oh, I'm gonna have to spin around here in a minute. Catch up on this chat. We'll spin around after this fly. We got some questions in there. Cut the hide, not the hair. Steve's in the house, like the red. The taper thing is the same with triagonal flags in the wind. The material up front generates drag, so the force to move is higher. Ergo, cut down the material to balance it. At least that's my theory. Hey, that's a good working theory. I like that. If that doesn't make any sense, what I just kind of mumbled as I read, you'll have to read it in the comments or the chat. All right, we'll do another dubbing loop. I'm going to do a full-size loop again here. I don't want to short it up front around the head because I think that gives it a little, just because the eyes aren't all the way by the eye of the hook doesn't mean we can't, I don't know. Alright, we'll go ahead and chomp off our first chunk. Nice long scissors really help with this too. Go ahead and start clearing that out. There's half a wookie right there and just under fur. We'll clean as much of that out as possible. And I'm going to go with just a little bit more. Let's grab another small little clump. And start clearing that out. Okay, we got our 2 together. We'll kind of roll that out on our fingertips. Kind of get that first initial spread. Then we're going to grab some of this red bloodsucker Arctic Wind, which is a synthetic as well. So we're going to just kind of pull these fibers perpendicular so they're parallel, or pull against each other rather. And then same basic concept, just kind of spread it out on our fingertips and then just set it right on top. We waxed our line. And we'll get this bad boy in here. Alright, nice and even. Space that out as best as we can. Then we'll spin it to win it. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Alright. Name of the game, clean it up. Got a little bit built up in there. Alright, just pull it all to one side. And then we'll wrap this. Once we make contact, we'll take it right to where we left off. It will be like we didn't even stop. Get right behind the dumbbell eye. We'll do a once over this way. Carefully work our way through that again. And then we'll have a few things to say about it directly up front. Yeah, this is getting us just a little bit closer to the eye of the hook. I like it. Secure that loop down. Trim it off. Small little head up front, and that's going to be it. Should have went with the chartreuse size on this. Maybe. I like the red eyes. I think if I had a natural zonker strip, maybe that would have matched a little bit better. I probably would have gone with that, but we didn't, so we can't. Brush it out. Sometimes the pick works good too. There we go, now we got a little cousin knit going on. Just where it needs it around the eyes. Well, It's a thing. It's a fly. But I definitely like the black better. I like the black body hair. What do you think? Questions, comments? Tell you what, for free, that bad boy is gonna fish. Let's see what my other options are. Oh yeah, we're gonna try a 50-50. Yeah, we're gonna do a black and red. We're gonna do a black body, and then just right up front, we're gonna do red. And then maybe we'll try some more with chartreuse. Oh yeah, trim down toothbrush. And do yourself a favor, get yourself a brand new toothbrush to trim down. Um, that's a um, dollar store special all day long. Looks like a bass magnet to me. Kind of looks like my brother. That's kind of the color of his beard. You kind of see that red hint, a hint of red in there. I don't know. That'll fish. And again, we tied it kind of like a clouser with the dumbbell eyes where they are. Kind of give us a little bit of balance. So, I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Shall we? Alright, who's ready for a 50-50? Make sure I got a little black zonker strip for a tail ready. Yeah, that'll be nice, nice, nice. Zonker strips, crazy stuff. It's like a furry shoelace. A furry leather shoelace. I don't know. Alright, from the top, where are we at? We're about halfway, so 30-minute tie, jibber jabbering our way through it. That's alright. Holy smokes. Atlanta is just smoking Chicago right now. Six to nothing, bottom of the second. Alright, where did I lose those hooks? Right there. Size 2, nice 3x long streamer hook. You could go with a shorter. You could go something articulated. That's up to you. This is my, standard disclosure. It's not the be all end all of anything we tie here. Let's use our Danville's 210 denier. Wow, that's a lot of denier, they say. Alright, we'll just lay a little thread base. And we'll fish out our dumbbell eyes. I really like these painted eyes. I wish you could buy dumbbell eyes like this that are lead free. You really don't get much of a choice when it comes to dumbbell eyes. You can get it in wire. You can get lead free wire. Why can't I get lead free dumbbell eyes? I suppose you could get stainless, tungsten. I don't know. I'll start this off with a few wraps this way, turn, and we'll do a few wraps that way. I like it. We'll add a little dab of glue, little bit of insurance policy in there. Some Sally Hansen's, the secret sauce. I wonder if Sally Hansen's does any kind of sponsorship. You know, is there a Sally Hansen car in NASCAR? There we go. I like that. We'll just run our thread to the rear. Alright, let's measure out our tail. This is a slightly different zonker strip. A little bit, feels just a little bit thicker of a hide, but we'll make it work. Let's go about a hook's length. Alright, say it with me now. Cut the hide, not the hair. Now we can cut the hair. Or just strip it back. Alright, I'm going upside down with this. I don't know if this affects the way it will swim, but I don't think it will. It's not going to hurt if I tie it upside down like this, because this is upside down as it is, and once we're upside down after being upside down, then we're no longer upside down, we're now right side up. If that makes any sense, which it shouldn't, because it does. Alright, I see a little bit of that little white line, a little skunk line. We're going to make that disappear with our marker. And how long that'll last in the water, who knows. But we gave it a try. Actually, I'm a dummy. What I should have used is my red marker. I wasn't thinking about that. But we already started it, so we're just going to send it. Here we go. That took care of that. That's no longer jumping out at me like a big ice wall. Alright, so we're going to see about doing this as a 50-50. Oh. Hey James, thanks for tuning in. I'll get a hold of you sooner than later. Alright, let's go ahead and make our loops. Loop de loop de loop de loop. And I'm probably going to get about halfway up the shank on this, because the head, I'm going to do red. I'm going to do a red head. Red head with the red eyes. Get ready for a big old surprise. I don't know. Beautiful, beautiful day today here in central Minnesota. Fantastic weather. Could not have asked for much better of a day. Just keeping our eye on the river levels, and in hopes that, I don't know. Who knows what the year is going to bring? Are we going to have a super dry year? Is it going to be super wet? And the thing is it can be dry here all summer long, but if it's raining up north, guess where that water goes? It goes downriver. And we are downriver of up north. So go ahead and clean all that underfur out. And I'm going to set that down. I'm going to get one more little batch before I spread that out for my dubbing loop. So let's go ahead and just trim a little bit more out. I'm curious as to what craft a lot of this craft hair gets used for. What's its number one purpose other than tying flies? I really don't know. Would you make a pillow out of this or a stuffed animal? Maybe that'd be my guess. All right, we got our little batch. We'll spread that out on our fingertips as best as we can, just to kind of get it started. Let's set that down on the bench, where I will get my dubbing and get that ready. Same thing as before. That's way too much. That's too much. Because if you get too much bulk trying to run it through your dubbing loop, it just doesn't work. I'm not going to say it doesn't work good, it just doesn't work, period. It'll just putting on too much material at the same time, and the thread doesn't get an opportunity to twist and pinch and do its lovely thing. Alright, we'll take our red and we'll space that out on our black. Ta-da! Alright, into the loop we go. And we'll pinch that off. Alright, it's all about even now. It's all about making it even. That'll work. We'll spin it to win it. Alright, we'll give that a try. And brush it out. You want to be careful if you're using a bodkin, because remember, this is it's just thread. It's not a wire brush, but it's kind of the same concept as our big old wire brush flies. Here we go. Alright, we'll take a couple wraps, or a wrap and a half until we make contact. Here we go, the loop is All there. We're all there because we're not all here. Or we're all here because we're not all there. That's what it is. Alright, we'll take touching ramps, working our way forward with this. Just bump that thread up to get it out of the way. Out of the way, you. Come here, you. Always remember that. Basic training. Come here, you. Nothing quite like just being called you. Alright. I think that'll do us. Then we'll do our next dubbing loop in the red. See where it gets us. So this craft hair, you can pick it up at the fly shop, you can pick it up at Michael's, Crafts Direct, Joann Fabrics, anybody's got it. Trolls. I don't think you would want to use this for a troll doll hair. I do got a troll doll up in my garage. He keeps my garage safe. He's my eyes on the ground, eyes on the inside. But from there, we'll make our next loop. Right to the edge. And we'll add our wax before we forget. Who else forgets to wax sometimes? I don't do it often, but when I do it, I do it. So my dubbing loop twister, it came in a box of used, previously owned materials, and I picked it up as part of a. I don't remember exactly where that one came from. I think I got it in a batch from a shop in Michigan. But I like the shepherd's hook. It's nice and heavy too. Let's get our red. It'll be interesting to see how this all comes out. I'm definitely thinking I should definitely continue with the dubbing. Uh-oh. My scissors are too sharp. Look what I did, I cut a hole right into my hide. Dr. Slick Razor scissors, be careful. Good way to ruin your jeans, I suppose, too, if you're not careful. We'll grab that little batch, and we're going to lose more than half of it with under fur. It's kind of a waste, but really stacks up, really takes up a lot of real estate there. So we're going to get a little bit more. And we'll clear this little batch out too. Alright, we'll spread that out. Then we'll grab our dubbing. same dub, the Arctic wind it's called. Just the same, we want to spread that out. Maybe a little bit more. Alright, we got our little mix. And we'll insert tab A into slot B. And I didn't spread it out quite as much as I should have. Alright, well, we'll give it a try. Spin it to win it. Twist it, twist it. And brush it out. Alright, let's give this a couple twists back here. We'll get right behind the dumbbell eyes. We'll go over it once this way. Carefully swoop it back. And then we'll finish this off right up front. I think that'll do us. Nice little red head up front. Almost like an affiliated Woody the woodpecker. Yeah, buddy. Now that is solid. I like it. I like it. Of course, you know what we got to do now. I said brush it out. Oh boy. I like the two-tone. There's something about black and red. Oh, save the underfur for dubbing. Boy, if I had... There's so much of this. So much of it. But yes, absolutely. Wax on, wax off. Well, let's take a quick pause, check up on the chat, see how everybody's doing. Here we go. Oh man, my back. Ooh. So, here we go. There's 5 of us. 5 of us now. That's alright. 2 hours is a long program. I get bored after a 2 hour movie. But I don't know. We're coming up on it. What's your guys' plans for fishing opener this year? Anybody got any plans? I will hopefully be out on my kayak. Hopefully. It's one of those things that I'm not gonna say I have it until I have it. But I don't know. So yeah, that was some of this red. I think we got one more color we can try to experiment with. I think and this is just this little batch. All sorts of different colors and lengths. I mean, who knows? So that's the brown, red. I say we try this. Do we go with the gray? Yeah, I think so. I say we give this a try. We'll do this with the chartreuse tail, I think. And chartreuse. What do you guys think? Let me know. Chartreuse eyes or red eyes with a chartreuse tail. So I'm going with the chartreuse tail. I'm gonna go with this again. With this, I think that's a good little blend. And then maybe, or do I do red eyes and a black head? Oh boy, we got all sorts of options. I think we'll do chartreuse, we'll do the gray. Let me know in the comments. Do I go chartreuse or red eye? I think we should go with stick with the red maybe, because I got the red handy. And again, we also got the chartreuse available too. Yeah, these are size mediums. Mediums are 4.8 millimeter, 1/30th of an ounce. I got red or chartreuse on these. Did I get more stickers yet? No, I don't think I'm gonna get into the sticker game. It's expensive. Stickers are. They're nice. I appreciate stickers, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do another batch of stickers or something. I don't think I have any stickers. I saw Jerry's our buddy Jerry's got some cool looking stickers coming. Oh, this is foam. That's foam and cork. It's not what I was looking for. I don't know. Let's go ahead and spin around, tie some flies. That's what we're here for. At least that's what I'm here for. Got to give you guys get your money's worth. Chartreuse eyes from the smart mouth. Yeah, we'll go with the chartreuse. We'll go chartreuse. Man, that's going to swim like that. I think that's going to be fantastic. Ooh, and instead of the red, maybe I think I've got some. I don't know. Do I throw some of this in there? Just some chartreuse accent. These got little rubber legs in it. Ooh, I'm sending it. I am going to send it. Because that's the thing is, just like the title, all I promised you guys was a uh, craft hair streamer. And that's what we're starting off with. I'm giving you guys, I'm delivering on my promise. Not trying to bait and switch, just trying to tie some flies. Alrighty then. Size 2 hook. Those would be a Moonlit ML057. Here we go. 210 denier thread. We'll lay just a little thread base. And we said chartreuse. I'll go with the package that's already opened in the mix. Alright. Clickety clack, click clack clack. Alright, we're tying these back a little bit further than, we don't want them right up front. We're going right about that Clouser minnow proportion. About that 1/3, about that 1/3, 2/3 point. A few wraps this way, a few wraps that way. Nice and tight. I mean, when you're wrapping your dumbbell eyes, you're not just putting your thread on top of it, you are actually wrapping that in. Just a little dab. We'll work that into the thread. That was more than a little dab, that was a big dab, but it'll work. We'll get our way through it. And balance that all out. Here we go. So yeah, plenty of room up front. Get some extra wraps of whatever we're putting up there. All right. So let's grab our barred chartreuse. Chart reuse. That's how whenever I have to spell it, it's always chart. C-H-A-R-T, reuse, R-E-S-U-S-E, chart reuse, chartreuse. If it ain't chartreuse, let's nibble at that hide. Alright, let's go about a hook's length. Alright. Start that on the near side, and as we apply our pressure, it should roll over just a little bit. Here we go. Time for our dubbing loops. We'll put our loop-de-loops together. So I take 3 wraps right in front, and then I take my bobbin and I go 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Your loop is made. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, hit it to the bridge. 1, 2, 3. Wax it up. Okay, so let's give this. It's kind of interesting because in addition to this gray, it's got these little puffs of white. So let's give it a try. We'll see what happens. Lots of underfur in here. Feels like I'm wasting a lot, but the cost of doing business, my friends, cost of doing business. Okay, let's see what we can salvage out of that. Look at all that underfur. It just disappears versus what we got left. Not much, not much, but we'll give it a try. We'll give it another tough cut that off. And I'm trying to cut this off as close to the faux hide, the craft hide, as possible. Alright, so let's give this a try. I'll spread this out. And our fingertips, we'll set that down. We'll grab our dub. This is some NK chartreuse mix. So it's a different dub. And this actually's got some little micro rubber legs in it. Same as before, we'll just kind of spread it out on our fingertips. I think I got more of the dub than I do of the hair, which is going to be interesting. Kind of not this batch of hair. It just doesn't quite. It looks good, but it just doesn't quite feel right. But there's only one way to find out. This is going to be like a little dirty chartreuse bomb with the gray in there. Clean that brush out. I don't have much confidence in this batch. Let go, don't let go. Well, we'll give it a try. Kind of a dirty gray. But we'll just keep that pulled back and advance this forward and see what happens. Kind of a dirty chartreuse. I think that's what we're just ending up with. Even though this has craft hair in it, I don't know. Boy, that took us right to behind the dumbbell eyes. Well, we'll tie that off there. We'll get another batch and run it over the front and through into the eyes. So Steve says he had the same issue. Yeah, so like if we look at it, it's got spots. It's gray and then it's, I don't know, not too impressed. But we'll give it a try. All we can do is try, right? What am I doing? Carriages and horses. We got to make our loop first there, Batman. We're not going to need too much. Because we're already at the dumbbell eyes. Wax on. I'm really chunking that wax in there. Alright, we got that ready. Now we can go ahead and try cleaning this out. It's like I end up just taking all the gray under fur out and I'm just left with this white stuff. So maybe we'll give that a try. Yeah, I'm officially not impressed with this gray. That's legit. When you are straight up not impressed. But, like I said, you never know until you try. Alright, let's go ahead and try spacing this out. Rolling this out in our fingertips just a little bit before we get our chartreuse in that mix. Just a little dab will do it. Maybe like 60-40, 60% craft hair, 40% chartreuse dub. Dang, Braves got another run. Glad I'm not watching a baseball game right now. They're not doing too well. Alright. Let's see here. Usually we end on a really good note. Our last fly is usually the best one of the night. But tonight, I just don't have that confidence in this fly. Now, it's probably going to outfish all these other ones 10 to 1 or something crazy. But I don't know, it's just not jiving 100%. Still going to fish. Still guaranteed to, it still falls with my same guarantee to catch a fish. This has to be the right fish, the right water, right time of day, with the right everything has to be just right. But the guarantee always stands. All my flies are guaranteed to catch a fish. If you're not catching fish with it, well, either they don't want that one, or you're not fishing right. Alright, let's get this chartreuse garbage figurated around the eyes. And then we got just enough to take a few wraps up front. Boy, if this was just a little greener, it would almost feel like almost like an Oscar the Grouch fly. But not quite there. It's like, don't forget, this is on a 3x long shank hook, so it's not like it's a short fly. It's got some length to it. Let's go ahead and build a small head and whip, finish this off. I kind of stopped putting head cement on front because I don't think I could feel that whip finish really lock in there. It'll be fine. And if it explodes on me, the only person that's going to suffer is me. Alright, let's go ahead and brush this bad boy out. Kind of looks almost like a coyote hair. Reminds me of the dirty hippie almost. We used to tie the dirty hippie at the VA with coyote, I think. And once it's picked out, then you can just brush it all back. Boy, I think that'll work. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it, except this side over here. It just needs a little bit, just a little bit around the eye. Yeah, I like it. There's the black red. I don't know. I think they'll both fish fairly well. I'm not 100% happy with the chartreuse one, but I'm not going to say I'm not happy about it. I think it'll definitely work. Faux show. Just add water. Absolutely. Where have I heard that? Well, I think on that wonderful note, I think we're going to wind this bad boy down. Oy, my back is a little stiff. And my cup is dry, and it's almost 8. Close enough. Questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments or in the chat. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Whatever it does, I don't know. Let me know in the comments or in the chat, what you guys are hankering for next week. We're into May. Maybe we should try a mayfly. I don't know. We'll think of something. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Oh, holy smokes. Dave, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you likes it. Got in late. You had fish to clean. All right. Means you must have got out and got on the crappie floppy. Anywho, thank you all for watching. Have yourself a wonderful week. Be sure to join me next week. The Faux Show, the Fox Show. For a streamer, stream with the Fox Show. Yeah. So, thank you for watching. Please stay healthy, everybody. Please stay safe. Happy tying. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Tight lines. Peace.